Okay. If we can all come on in. And if you're sitting at a table with just a couple of people, you might want to move because we're going to be doing some group activities now. So let's kind of fill in tables so that we all have a nice group to talk to. I know we have a couple of spots up here. If you guys don't care to move over here, I just don't want you to, just be talking to your spouse. So join a group. Y'all want to come on up? Y'all can come. You can come up here with them. I think it'll be better if we have some inter-ministry conversation because I'm not going to talk. Y'all are going to talk. So join a group. Join a group. If you've got 4 or 5 people at your table, you're fine, but okay, so our theme this year for the conference is Stronger Together, and we're going to right now live this theme. So we're going to be talking, I'm going to give you a couple questions. On your table, you have some sticky notes, and we're going to start out with using some sticky notes. I'm going to give you some questions to think about, and then what this whole process is going to look like is we're going to do a brainstorming activity where we're going to generate some ideas. And then once we get all these ideas, we're going to bring them together. And then we're actually going to do a process where we vote on like what are our top 3 favorite ideas? What are some things as a region that we think that we could do together? And it may look anything from like, Tom talked about a camp last night. One of the things that's really big in my heart is I want to do a young adult retreat, like a region-wise young adult retreat. You may only have 3 or 4 young adults in your church, and somebody else may have 3 or 4, but if we could get them all together, we could do something really cool. So that's one of the things that's big in my heart. But our church is not big enough, we have a young adult group, but we meet once a week together, so they want to get out and meet someone else. So it would be cool. That would be something that might be cool to do as a region. We've talked about doing some different children's activities, some different youth activities. Maybe there's a speaker that you would like to have, but you think, I don't think that our church is big enough to support that. Is that something that we could do together? And so the idea is, what could we do together? There's a lot of other ideas we've talked about. And I'm not trying to give you all the ideas, so I'm got to stop talking, don't I? I just want you to think big. Think, what could I do if I had all the resources? What would I do? How can we support each other in some different things? I have like 1,000 more ideas, but I'm not going to give them to you because I want to hear your ideas. So let's go ahead and do that first question. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to think yourself first. Don't talk to anybody. Just think about this. What are some activities or events that you have wanted to do but did not feel your church could accomplish with its current resources and people? So take some sticky notes. You might have 10, or you might just have 1. And if you don't have to be head of ministry to do this. I want everyone to do this. Think about, what would you like to see in your church that you don't see? And you don't even have to be in this region. Let's just generate ideas. So write them on sticky notes. No, I want each person individually to do this first. Each person. Don't even talk to each other yet. I want to get as many different, unique ideas as we can get to start out with. Oh, no. Does anybody have pens?
BYOP. Bring your own pen, Emily said. See what we can find.
They can always write on their notes on their phone and just hand their phone in.
Oh, here's some pens.
Get Lisa
Lisa, would you spread them around?
Girls, ladies,
Ladies, girls.
young singles looking corny bed.
It's exhausting. I had no idea.
Oh, they can share pens, they can write on.
Y'all work it out.
I have an extra one, the same as you.
You got me. It's covered.
Everybody
It's covered.
BYOP?
Here's a couple more. Does anybody else need a pen?
I don't think so.
I got
Oh, Sylvia needs a pen.
more pens right here.
Everybody needs a pen.
We don't use them anymore, so.
I don't even.
Okay, so this is just processing time. Don't share with your neighbor right now. Just think in yourself. As many possible ideas as you can come up with. And I'm going to give you a little bit of time to think about this because some people process and they need some time to think. Okay. You can take as much time as you need. If you keep having more ideas, just keep writing them on sticky notes. Some of you might have 15 sticky notes. And some of you will be going, I don't know what she's talking about. But so if you will have one person from your table as you finish your sticky notes, collect them and bring them up here and stick them on this paper. We might have to have another paper. Try to put them where I can read them.
about to run over you, Connie.
Okay. Okay, if you still have additional ideas, you can continue to bring them up. And guys, I'll just tell you, when Cole came in here, he goes, "This is like a PD because he's a teacher too. This is like a professional development." I said, "Yep, that's what we're doing." So some of your teachers are shuddering right now, but so. I just want to tell you though, if you want to do, this is a way to do a brainstorming with like your staff where you have, or your church, and you don't want the idea to be associated with the person who said it, because sometimes we discount ideas just because, well, they don't know anything. I'm not listening. Or the pastor says it and then everybody goes, "Yep, that's what we're doing." So if you want to really get good ideas, you can do an activity like this. You get lots and lots of ideas. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to read all these out. And then at your table group, I want you to then think about the next question. Can you put that next slide up there, please? The next question that we're going to answer, and we're going to look at this as a table group, is what events or activities could we do together as a region that would advance the kingdom in this region? So I'm going to read all these out as like, let's get to thinking. And then at your table group, think about which one of these could we really accomplish? Which one of these things think about over the next year? And I'm not asking you to commit your money to it. But or even to commit, I'll do that one. But this is to think about what we can do. And then at the end, once we get all of the ideas from the table groups about what could we do as a region, we're going to literally vote on what, and you're going to vote 3 times, which ones would I be the most willing to support? Which one would I, and then so then we'll come up with like 3 that rise to the top, because we'll have some that'll be like 45 people said they would support this, and it'll naturally break out as to where the top ones are, and then we will discuss as a table group. Okay, so how could we realistically do this? Is this something we could realistically do? And then we're going to develop some teams of people who want to work on this, and we could meet by Zoom. And we're going to actually do them. We're going to go and do the things that we decide that we think we want to do. We're going to, some of them it might take more time than others, but over the next year, we're going to see what can we accomplish. So that's what we're trying to do. Yes, sir. It could be multiple things. It could be something that is a specific event, or it could be something like, well, I don't want to give you, it's hard to give an example because I don't want you to think, oh, well, no, that's what we're going to do because she said it. So it could be an event, or it could be something that we commit to over a period of time. It doesn't have to be, there's no limit. That's what we're trying to do, is take the limits off. Okay, so I'm going to read these out, and I just want you to kind of listen to them. Some of them are going to be duplicates, so I'll skip them when I get, so I have youth camp, kids camp, marriage retreat, a Colton Dixon concert, a singles event conference, a PK retreat getaway. It's interesting. A PW conference. I'm not sure. Praise and worship. Okay. Praise and worship conference. See, we all had a different idea of what that was. No, we're not having a pastor. Or I guess we could have a pastor's wife conference. I was thinking something totally different. Marriage conference, kids events, youth rallies at different churches, a garage sale type market, again, youth camp, worship nights, seniors ministry, young adults. Let's see, a discipleship meal ministry, monthly moms women's meeting, monthly or quarterly dramas and plays, monthly church newsletters, staff meetings, events, and retreats, higher profile guest speakers, plays for the community. Somebody has a heart for drama. I love that. love to have Zach Williams in our area. Monthly young adults. Branson Ballpark Sports event every quarter. More fun every month. I can relate to that person. Youth workers, I'm not supposed to be making any comments about this. This is part of what you do when you do this. But some of them are, I love them. Youth workers, kids workers trainings. Let's see, kids camp, ladies conference, ladies retreat, men's conference. Faith-based inner healing domestic violence shelter. Young adult retreat or trip together. Taking a bus to kindle the flame. That's a fun idea. Oh, I'm not good at this. Bringing street ministry. I'm trying to have a hard time reading this one. A soup kitchen, etc. in our nation. That's what this says. Pro sports Christian speaking event. Let's see. Regional young adults retreat idea. They said they like that. See, that's what happens. I should have never said it. Let's see. Entering communities health camp. Veterans emergency response team. Seniors teaching sports. I think that's what that said. Some of these are, let's see. Evangelism outreach at the University of Missouri. Perhaps with a Christian concert. Disaster relief. One night bigger speaker events. Let's see. Free the poor, deliver the homeless, change mindsets from scarcity to prosperity. Monthly coaching, regional database for I don't know what that says. For something. Sorry, don't know what that one says. Oh, a regional database for resources. Got that one. Yeah, okay. Extended meetings. Those are all repetitive. Let's see. Community carnival, mentorship, 1 to 3 people or more. Help with missionaries' needs. A pizza night for the youth once a month to fellowship and play games together and share their life stories or problems. Ask the youth what they would enjoy the most if we could schedule something once a month for them to do. Youth-led prayer meetings once a month for the youth, only supervised by the pastor. Let's see. More corporate meetings with prayer and worship, seeking God. We have done a, marriage retreat. It would be great for other churches to participate. Youth camp. Zachary Bigley is a RMAI alum who does youth camps. Let's see. Kate McVeigh or Karen Jensen would be great for a singles retreat. Let's see. A pastor's camp. Let's see. PK events. Transition to retirement steps. Weekend events. Oops. Revival services. I think most of those are repeated. Let's see. Online training resources. Giving those who serve in supportive ministry opportunities to venture out and minister in healthy, controlled environments, like organizing church to church. Okay. A regional missions trip. Marriage encounters. Regional bus vans for conferences. Okay. A community carnival. I think I got most of them. I might have left something out. If I did, you can tell your table group if I left yours out. Okay, so that gives us some things to think about. Now I want you at your table group to start thinking about what could we do as a region. And it might even be something that's not up here. It might come to you as you're talking. So at your table groups, start somewhere. Make sure everyone has a voice in your table group. So talk about it, and then we will report out from each table group and make a master list. So go for it. Start talking. Make sure everybody has a voice. Okay, I'm sorry, I have one more to add to the list. Emily said that we should do young adult speed dating, so then everyone would be equally yoked. She didn't think I'd say that out loud.
You asked for it, sis.
She said we needed to take a cruise, but not for the speed daters. That's good though. I love that idea. That'd be another thing to throw in the mix. Yeah. So what spoke to you, Sylvia? So like training, like Charlene and Jerry's church did it for a while. Would they leave alive is the question. Depending on what age they were. Yeah. So, what's in your heart, hon? What would you see?
More like the one when I was asking him, going back to the church planning. I'd like to see us take advantage of opportunities to grow the smaller churches combined to grow our staff and volunteers because money and time are issues in those areas that we've been poor to put from ours and we've very much go.
phenomenal at kids camps. He's done some great stuff at kids camps.
I think we could help finance kids that way, you know, especially missionaries kids like Paul and Jessica's daughter. Pastor, you know, took care of first year, they didn't know about second year yet. Do some kind of coordinated, and I know anytime money's involved, you can do less than good, we shouldn't do it, but shouldn't keep us from trying to do something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if, again, you know, stuff putting together, you can do something that you're by yourself, you know. And if it's just a way to sow into missions, missionaries, a way to sow into their kids.
And I would like,
I think that's one of those, to me, loving on missionaries pleases the Lord.
I would really like to see us move over into church planning. I mean, it might take a while to get there, but even like when Todd, they took over a new building, and you know there were some pastors in the region that went up and helped and did some stuff to help him, just kind of because they were totally remodeling it.
Dave
So
had just done it. Dave was able to give him advice, and Dave sent some of his guys down to look and make suggestions and offer that. Again, the proximity allowed him to do something. But Dan is, he knows all about it.
So, but if you could get, you know, if you got a young minister that really has a heart for it, and you could get behind them and support them, you know, you could do it. I mean, you know, how much you support them could vary. I mean, it might be that you're just helping encourage them and mentor them, and it might be that you're helping them financially. You know, there's a lot of ways you can support. So, to figure out what that looks like, but I would like to see us have a heart for that and an eye for that. Yeah. 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 You have to figure out what your priorities are. Yep. I like it.
You're a mighty quick pastor. You make it look like
Yeah.
couldn't hurt my feelings, so.
You weren't sad about that.
No, but because, you know, we were pastoring, we had the Bible school, we ran the youth reform, and I was sometimes flying back into on Sunday morning by the time to get to church.
Wow.
Well, I just want to do that. You only do that so much. Yeah, and you know, I'd start all over again the next week. So I was just like, how do we do this?
Okay, we gotta go.
Okay, let's go ahead, guys, and come back together. I know you've probably got more conversations you could have at your tables, but just for the sake of time, what we're going to do now is let's have each table come up with your 3 or 4 best ideas, And if, if you just got to have that fifth one, okay, or if you've only got two, that's okay. But just from your table, and go ahead and we'll start over here with this table. If someone, figure out who your spokesperson is going to be for your table. Somebody needs to talk at your table. And they're going to not just share their idea, they're going to share the table's ideas, so they need to have been listening when you're talking. But Emily and Sylvia, I do know her name. Sylvia and Emily are going to write down what you're saying. So don't talk 100 miles an hour. And then we'll get them written down, and then we'll bring them up and go from there. So let's come over here first. Who's talking at this table? Mr. Dave? Here's microphone.
This is really hard to focus in on because it's so broad, but just some ideas that came here. You want to talk about the university thing, the focus first? Matt, you want to talk about the university thing?
Please. Pastor Diane mentioned they're in a college town, so there is a move of God on college campuses. I don't know if all of you are hearing what's going on at Auburn and Baylor and Texas Tech and Ole Miss and Ohio State, and so we mentioned that, and then Pastor Dave mentioned church planting, and then the third thing, leadership training. A lot of us have been in this a long time and might need some new bullets in our gun.
Okay. When you say prayer, you're talking corporate prayer as a group, somewhere like where we bring together?
Just thinking about prayer canvassing.
Okay.
And so making a list of the cities, which are already, Missouri cities, Iowa cities, they're already there. And then just picking some and start praying for them and make a diligent, regular effort over
Okay.
those.
Some kind of specific prayer focus. Okay. Who's talking at this table?
We talked about, no, I'm kidding. I didn't read it writing. Camps, kids' youth retreats, the youth camps, all of those types of things in one specific place, or doing more of those was one specific. And then evangelism outreach. Did mention the universities, but because our region is so big, maybe like one in each state, or something that was more central to the whole region, like it could be Springfield, Branson, or was it Fayetteville? Yeah, Fayetteville, something like that, to where we could do one or two of them, so that it felt like we were covering the whole region. And the street ministry, things like that, a lot of what they just said too.
So when you say outreach, are you talking like bringing someone to do like a community? I'm not quite sure what that looks like. Okay. 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 Ways to read it. Okay. Concerts or some other type of outreach. Okay. Who's talking here?
Our focus is on the missions account. I believe we do have a missions account in our region, and our focus is just we'd like to see that promoted and maybe funded better, to where that more can be provided to the missionaries. That could be fleshed out, of course, if it was chosen as one of the topics that could be fleshed out by the committee.
Over here, who's talking? Looks like it's you. They're all looking at you.
We talked about, first off, we see a lot of the same missionaries' faces in this conference each year. But if we had a list of the missionaries that was available in this, that call this region home, to where we could see that list, and it was posted, this is where they're at, this is their needs even. If each region saw to their own, everybody would be being seen to. So there was that, and then of course youth and children's ministry is a huge part of who we are. So we just any youth camp that a person's trying to do or wanting to do, they're doable, and they're easy to do. They're not hard to do. The looking at it and being like that's a daunting task. That's not a daunting task. It's easy. So those were the 2 points we discussed.
Okay, thank you. What y'all got over here? Who's talking?
I got nominated. So we were thinking the number one thing was like a short youth camp with around like team building activities, like I don't know, maybe like the American Ninja Warrior type thing or something like that. In a singles retreat. And then we noticed that marriage conference was up there. Well, our church does host a marriage conference every year with really good speakers, and every year they just get better and better. So I'm going to put a plug in for that.
Great. Great. Okay. You girls getting this? Are we going too fast? All right. I knew you were up to the task. Who's talking over here?
We also got on board with the regional missions trip, and we thought also to go specifically to the places where our people are, maybe not the whole region, but go specifically to where they are because they come to us. And of course the youth and the young adults annual retreat. And we also have the regional cruise because the refreshing of the ministers also help build the kingdom. And when you're on the cruise with like-minded people, that makes all the difference.
Okay. Who's talking here?
Okay, so the first idea is to help with disaster relief and to perhaps join Jeff Perry at Service International to help with disaster relief with tornadoes and such that hit our area. And the second idea is my idea to have a domestic violence shelter, faith-based, to help women with restoration and forgiveness and recover from whatever abuse they suffered and get on the right track with Christ.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Who's talking here?
We talked about having outreaches in your churches. So get a group together and go be specific to what your church needs, because a country church is going to be different than a city church. So you could go and help that church get established or help them build their church, bring in the young people. And when again, we're talking about the youth and the children's camps too. We used to do those a long time ago. You worked the kitchen, remember? Yes. And anyway, it seems that when we talked, Pastor Tom talked about that last night about reaching the young people, and we need to bring them in. So that was one of our ideas too, is just to go and help the people in our region, Missouri, Arkansas region, to reach the people that are in their areas. What do they need for a team? Yeah. Yes. Yes, what do you need? We'll go and help you do that.
Up here, who's talking?
So ours, top 3 repeats that have already been mentioned. Conferences, camps for the kids, teenagers, and young adults. The mission trip idea, supporting the missionaries within our region. And then a marriage type conference, and my wife said preferably at sea. Because we do have a resident, if you will, vacation planner among us. So that was her topic.
Okay. Did I miss anybody? Did ever? Oh, yes, my table. No.
Also wanted to see about maybe if we could do something collectively to help fund some RMAI students. Maybe prioritize missionaries' kids first. Several of them from time to time have kids going through RMAI, and seeing about that. Otherwise, there's just I just think it pleases God when we love on missionaries, and whatever that means for you. Missionaries generally agree with that, generally, and then we want to honor the Hagans in all in our doings, but then we honor RMAI and help support RMAI. But I think just looking to support RMAI students, and we talked about church planning, and I think we'll get into that more, what that could possibly look like. So.
Okay. Emily, was there something else we said at our table, Sylvia? Oh, yeah. Specific trainings, like youth ministers, get them together, children's ministers, get them together and do some specific training. Yeah, okay. Do we get, okay, is there anything anybody doesn't understand? Are we clear here? Kind of what all the ideas are? Okay, girls, bring up those posters. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're all ministers, so we're going to be honest here. So, yeah, hold them up where we can see them because I'm going to have to. Okay, so that's all right. I'm going to read them out to them. So what I want you to do is vote 3 times. What are your top 3? That doesn't mean we're going to do all 3 of these. We got to start somewhere. But what if and I'm going to read them out to you. And so one of you girls here, I'm going to hold this one, and you need to count people and then write it down. Oh, he's going to help. There you go. Okay. So thank you. And so the first one, and you said, I'm going to skip church planning for right now because we're going to talk about that one a little bit more. That's going to be something we're going to do. So, yes. Yeah, I'm going to. I'm going to read, oh, let me read the whole list first, and then we'll go back and vote. Thank you, Dave. Okay, so we have campus ministry. We have prayer focuses, like where we take a specific prayer area and all focus on it at one time. Evangelism outreach, street ministry, concerts, that kind of thing. A provided list of missionaries, singles retreat, regional cruise, a refreshing event, domestic violence shelter, a marriage conference, preferably at sea, leadership training, and that would include pastors training, youth camps, all those kinds of trainings that we would do with staff or whatever. Camps, kids, youth, young adults. A missions account focus, where we do some things intentionally for missionaries. We already have an account that we do some things with. A regional missions trip, where our people are, so focus on our missionaries. Disaster relief, outreaches in churches, specific to going to churches and helping do outreaches in communities. Fun RMAI students with an emphasis on missions kids, and focused training, which is kind of the same as the other one, but we'll distinguish between leadership training being more pastors leadership training, and then the bottom one is focused training, like kids camp training or youth camp training or whatever. Okay? Anybody have a question about one before we vote? Okay, so we're gonna skip church planning because that one, we feel like that one's a next step. So is that right? Is that what you said? Okay. So campus ministry, you can vote 3 times. Campus ministry. Okay. That's 5. 6. Okay. Sorry. Prayer focuses. Okay. Did you get them all? Back in the back too. Okay. Evangelism, outreach, street ministry, connects. Okay. Provided a list of missionaries. I feel like that's something we can just do. That one we don't even have to think about. We'll just do it. Singles retreat. I'm voting with you, Emily.
Nobody else.
We're going to do that. Okay, a regional cruise. 7, 8, 9, 10. Domestic violence shelter. Okay. Yeah, we do too. Mm-hmm.
It's justified. It's a conference. It's justified.
Okay. Marriage conference, preferably at sea. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Leadership training. This one is specifically for pastors, and then we'll do the other one. I mean, key people in this church, that kind of training. That one's another one. This is more like just generic leadership training for anyone. Camps, kids, youth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay. Okay. Let's see. The missions account of focus. The missions, yeah, doing something significant with the missions account. Okay. Regional missions trip. Okay. Disaster relief. Two. Outreaches in individual churches, like we go to an area and support an outreach. Funding RMAI students. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I know. We want to do it all. Well, oh wait, we got some more back here. Can we do that one again? Funding RMAI students. Uh-huh. Yes, from our region or our missionaries, like someone, not some random student, but yes, it could. Yes, it could. Okay. And then focus training for youth, children. Some of you have used up all your votes, I know. 4. Okay. All right. Could you count them all? Okay, so guys, it doesn't mean that we can't do all these things. I mean, or a lot of these things. It's just we got to start somewhere, and so we may start with the ones that people have the most interest in, because we're trying to get people to support the event. And so we look at these. Let's see, we have. The highest one we have is kids in youth camps. So that would be a place to start. Then we have 2 14s, and they're both related to missions. The regional missions trip, and then the funding RMAI students with that missions kids. I feel like, and then with the missions account. So you can tell we have a heart for missions in this region. And then the next one that comes up is prayer focuses, which I feel like all of those are doable. I mean, the prayer focus is not going to be anything other than somebody organizing it. So it doesn't cost anybody anything. Oh. And the other thing that can happen here.
We can pray on the cruise.
Yeah, okay. So a prayer focused cruise, okay. Okay, so this we will keep, as these are things that we're all interested in. This is what we've said. And then what we'll do is, as us as leadership, we'll start to focus on the ones that are at the top, coming together with the group. Okay, we'll send out things and say, who wants to work on this? Who would be willing to help with this? What ideas do you have about this? And we'll begin to plan that. But any of these things that you've seen here, if you want to take it on and okay, I'm going to do this, and then, we'll take it out for the region and see who I can get to help me. I mean, we could do several things at once as long as we don't have to lead it all, but we can only lead so many things at once. So we will work on, where am I at with time? Okay. So at this point, the next steps will be, we'll take these things, we'll go ahead and develop a plan to start reaching out to people. We'll probably have some kind of Zoom so that we can get on together and talk about and brainstorm the idea out further. What could we do with it? Who has good camp things in their area? We've got some people in here who have a lot of experience with camps. Sean, Lance and Lisa. I'm trying to think, there's others in here probably who, me, although I don't, I'm not volunteering. No, I would. But he wants me to cook. I do have a lot of experience with that. But so we'll start to develop a plan for that. Yes, sir. Okay, they've got, so then their thing needs to be, people who said they wanted a marriage conference, they've already got one going, so come and support, and part of this is just advertising it to people in your church. If we have a central location for events that are happening in the region, they're having, we have an RMAI Facebook page, but a more focused attempt to, this is kind of what's happening. And then we can take on these bigger ones to start leading them. That doesn't mean we're going to lead them, but develop a group, figure out who wants to take it and run with it, and start to begin to then support it and help it. Anything else you want to say about that? Okay, but this gives us a good idea of what do we need in our region that we're not doing. And then we can begin to develop and work on those. And as John said at our table, once we realize we can work together really well and we can do some things together, then we might be ready to take on church planning, because that's a big thing that I would love to do. And so if you have one of these things that's just really your passion project and we didn't get it on the list, then just go for it. Reach out, say, is there anybody else wants to help us with this? And go ahead and start doing. We can do a lot of things. Got anything else?
I would like to do a regional Zoom. I've considered it, but I didn't know if anybody would get on. But I believe I'm going to test the waters with a couple of things and just do regional Zooms and just to communicate. And all of this is voluntary. We don't have, part of the RMAI world, informally, we work kind of ask for forgiveness more than permission, but we don't exert any influence. We don't promise anything. We're just trying to advance the kingdom. We don't love you more if you do, and we don't love you less if you don't. These are just some things that we just see the potential to accomplish some things in the kingdom more than what we already are. And when you realize we're all in this room, it's a high quality, top shelf, as we said in an earlier session, people in this room. We have the capacity, and our hearts are knit together. Dan and Joan are great hosts. They host a great marriage conference. I always plan on coming. I never get here, but I always think about it. So these things are available. My wife and I, while we're on the cruise praying, we'll see what. We're really happy that you funded it. No. Can we stop recording and live streaming and do all that? Can we pull the plug on that? I'd like to introduce y'all to Oliver. Oliver, would you stand up when you get through unplugging us here? I want to do what we talk about doing. He's getting ready to go on his first missions trip. Now, he said his funding was pretty good. Now, Mom and Dad, was his funding good, or was he just a good son and a good faith guy? Is his funding good? Where's Ashley? I was looking for Sam. Either one of them in here? That's why he's in the sound booth. I think Sam had to be somewhere. We'll find out. We'll find out for tonight. And but anyway, he's getting ready to go on his first missions trip down to Living Water in Guatemala. And part of Living Water was here last year that works with them. I know the young lady that works there. So anyway, the missions fund, we have a missions fund. I don't advertise it. It's designed, actually Larry Willigie started it back in the 90s when he was alive and regional director. It was designed just as a voluntary thing. If you wanted to send money in, Charlene manages it through the church at the door.